every Chargers fan has lived this nightmare. You go into camp full of hope, excited about new additions, a new coaching staff, maybe even a new identity, only for it all to fall apart before week 1. And honestly, that lingering fear is still there this year, because as training camp kicks off early for the Chargers, there's one word that's more important than scheme, talent, or matchups. That word is health. Let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that this team can stay healthy through camp and the preseason? Drop your answer in the comment. I know a lot of you are still scared from last year. What's up, Chargers fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Chargers. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Bolts. Okay, when you look at this Chargers roster, the storylines are endless, but health is the one that casts a shadow over everything else. That's where the conversation started, and for good reason. If you could fast forward straight to week 1 in Brazil and be guaranteed that your starting roster is intact, you'd take that trade in a heartbeat. Because as much as we all want to talk about the offensive changes, the defensive line, or how this receiver room shakes out, none of it matters if you're scrambling to patch holes before the season even begins. And yes, that fear is already creeping in. Najee Harris, we covered this yesterday. He's probably not going to be available for the start of training camp, and now we're hearing he might miss a few weeks of the regular season too. This is how it always starts. One injury, one weird accident, and suddenly your whole rotation is out of rhythm. But let's zoom out. Let's talk about the offense first, because in theory, this should be the most different-looking Chargers offense we've seen in years. Personnel-wise, scheme-wise, completely different beast. Justin Herbert has never had a dominant offensive line in front of him. He's never had a consistent run game, and he's never operated in a Greg Roman Jim Harbaugh system with the kind of physical identity that this team is aiming for. So yeah, this camp should look and feel different, but the question is, how much of that will we actually see in practice? You think about things like downfield plays from tight ends. That's something that's been completely missing in years past. Scramble drills from Herbert, a goal line offense that actually works. Maybe even some play action that isn't just for show. These are things we should start seeing glimpses of in camp, and you don't need full pads to spot it. You just need rhythm, tempo, and consistency. That's what I'm looking for. Speaking of rhythm, let's talk wide receivers, because outside of Ladd McConkey, this group is still one big question mark. Yes, there's potential, but right now, it looks like a wide receiver by committee situation. And for some of you, that's probably exciting. Depth, versatility, options. But for me, I want to know who's going to actually separate. Tre Harris, there's a ton of hype around him, but the holdout situation complicates everything. And here's the thing, it's not just him. Over 30 second-round picks are currently dealing with similar contract issues. Why? Because Houston gave Jaden Higgins a fully guaranteed deal, and the Browns followed suit. That set the bar higher for every other rookie taken in that range, including Harris. It sucks, especially because the Chargers need him to hit the ground running, and instead there's a real chance he's not even on the field when camp starts. If that happens, how does that impact the rest of the rotation? Mike Williams is back, yes. He brings juice downfield, and Herbert clearly loves throwing to him. But can he stay healthy? Quentin Johnston? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. He had a strong finish to last season, but until he puts together real, consistent production, it's just potential. Keandre Lambert-Smith, Darius Davis, still unproven. And that's why this Tre Harris situation stings. Because he's supposed to be the guy that changes the math, the guy who stretches the field, opens things up for Ladd, forces defenses to adjust. But right now, he's not in the building, and we don't know what to do. Anyhow, if you're looking for some positive momentum on offense, look no further than the tight ends. I'm not saying this is going to be the best tight end room in the league, but it's the best tight end room this team has had in a long time. Tyler Conklin is as steady as they come. 4 straight seasons with over 50 catches and 500 yards. You know exactly what you're getting there. Then you add Oronde Gadsden II, who, based on everything we're hearing, has been quietly dominating camp reps. He's not flashy, doesn't chase media hype, just shows up and works. The kind of guy you want in the Harbaugh system. And of course, you've still got Will Dissly and Tucker Fisk for blocking packages. If you're running 12 personnel, those guys will be key. This is what balance looks like. Not superstar-driven, but functional, reliable. And when you pair that with a real run game, assuming we actually get one this year, you can start to imagine an offense that protects Herbert, doesn't rely on him to play hero ball every snap, and can wear teams down over 4 quarters. Speaking of protection, let's talk offensive line. Because this might be the most important camp battle happening, and it's going to fly under the radar. The center-left guard situation is wide open. And honestly, the writing is on the wall. Zion Johnson looks like he's going to be the starting center. That's not a move you make unless you're really confident. It's a big shift. It's risky. But clearly, Jim Harbaugh and Joe Hortiz believe in him. Now, do I think it'll work? I don't know. He's never played center before. But what I do know is this. You can't run it back with the same combination from last year. You just can't. That Houston game exposed everything. There was some good film, sure, but the ceiling was capped. So, you've got Zion moving to the center. Bozeman possibly at left guard. Maybe someone else steps up. Whatever the combo is, it needs to be decided early in camp so the chemistry can develop. And on the right side, this is where things get really interesting. Jim Harbaugh made it clear this is going to be a right-handed offense. And that's a total shift from what we've seen in years past. With Mekhi Becton and Joe Alt lined up together, you've got 2 absolute monsters on that side of the line. If this run game is going to take off, it's going to start there. Now, let's pivot to the running backs. With Najee Harris likely out for at least part of camp and potentially the early regular season, it's open season behind him. Omarion Hampton is going to get every chance to show he belongs as running back 1 or running back 2. He's probably the favorite at this point. But the battle for RB3 and RB4 is where things get spicy. You've got Rocket Sanders, undrafted, but with a lot of hype coming out of the pre-draft process. Kamani Vidal, who flashes but needs to prove he can block and protect Herbert, and then Hassan Haskins, who might quietly have the inside track just because of his special teams value and blocking ability. Let me just say this, the staff isn't going to tolerate running backs who can't protect the quarterback. That's a priority one. If you can't pass protect, you're not going to make this team. It's that simple. Harbaugh made clear how this offense is structured. That's it. Okay, now let's flip it to defense. This defensive line, man, it's deep, almost too deep. We're talking about a legit logjam on the interior. There are 8 or 9 guys who could make a real case for being on the 53rd. Dashawn Hand, Naquan Jones, Justin Eboigbe, Jamari Caldwell, Otito Ogbonnia, the list goes on. And that's not even counting the edge rotation. Tuli Tuipulotu, this is his moment. He's stepping into a starting role opposite Khalil Mack. And you know Jesse Minter is going to put him in a position to attack. Then you've got Kyle Kennard, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, who could be a legit third down weapon. And Tremon Morris-Brash, who flashed last year in camp and could sneak into the rotation. So the bottom line is, this line is bigger, more athletic, and more versatile than what we saw last year. They can run more stunts. They can actually rotate, and they're going to be tough to game plan for. Linebackers, I'm excited. Junior Colson is finally healthy, and him next to daiyn Henley, that's a combo with serious upside. And the secondary, this might be the fiercest battle in camp. The DB room is stacked. Like, seriously, stacked. You've got your locks, Derwin James, Alohi Gilman, Elijah Molden. Then at corner, Cam Hart, Tarheeb Still, Dante Jackson, Benjamin St-Just. That's already 8 names. And the team usually only keeps 10, so this is a deep group, and the decisions are going to be brutal. You're going to see talented guys get cut. That's just the reality of building a better roster.